4 seconds. That's roughly how long a pause in conversation needs to last before people start feeling it. Not anxious exactly, just aware. A small shift in the room, something that wasn't supposed to happen, happening. 4 seconds of nothing, and the brain starts looking for what went wrong. Most people feel it before they even decide to. A word, a sound, a laugh that wasn't really a laugh. Something to close the gap before the gap becomes a problem. It happens so fast, it doesn't feel like a choice. That reflex is worth paying attention to. The brain treats conversation like a rhythm. There's a pattern to it, a back and forth, a beat that you are supposed to stay inside. When that rhythm breaks, the brain registers it the same way it registers any other prediction that didn't come true. Something was expected. It didn't arrive. That gap gets flagged as information worth responding to. The problem is the brain doesn't always know what kind of information it is. A pause in conversation and a genuinely threatening silence can feel similar from the inside. The same low-level alert, the same pull to do something, say something, fix whatever just broke. So people feel silence not because anything is actually wrong, but because the absence of sound registers as a signal, and the easiest way to stop a signal is to make it stop. It's not just social silence either. Being alone and quiet is different from being around other people and quiet, but the discomfort can show up in both. A lot of people can't sit in a room without something on in the background, not because they're listening to it, just because silence by itself feels like too much. Part of that is what silence does when it arrives. It removes the thing the brain was busy with and doesn't replace it with anything. External noise, conversation, a screen, all of it gives the mind something to process outward. Take it away, and the attention has nowhere to go except inward. And inward is not always a comfortable place to land. The thoughts that surface in silence are usually the ones that don't get much room otherwise. The unfinished thing from 2 weeks ago. The low-level worry that never fully resolved. The version of yesterday's conversation that keeps coming back slightly differently each time. Noise keeps that stuff at a manageable distance. Silence removes the distance, so the discomfort isn't really about silence, it's about what silence lets through. There is also something older underneath all of this. Silence in certain contexts was genuinely a warning. In environments where your safety depended on reading your surroundings, unexpected quiet could mean something had changed. Animals go still before something happens. A room goes silent when something shifts. The brain still carries some version of that association, not consciously, just as a texture that silence carries in certain moments, a quality that makes the nervous system pay attention even when there is nothing to pay attention to. That instinct runs into modern life and finds almost no real use for itself, but it still shows up in the elevator with a stranger when nobody speaks, in the meeting room before the call starts, in the moment after you say something and the other person takes a beat before responding. Nothing is wrong in any of those situations. The silence means nothing, but the body doesn't always get the update in time. There is a version of this that goes deeper than just social moments. Research on people sitting alone with nothing to do found that a significant portion of them found the experience unpleasant enough that they preferred mild physical discomfort over sitting with their own thoughts. Not dramatic distress, just an ordinary quiet room with no distractions. That finding says something about what silence actually asks of people. It doesn't ask for much on the surface, just to be in a room, undistracted, without filling the space. But being in a room with your own thoughts, without anything softening the edges of that, is something most people don't practice much anymore. And things you don't practice tend to feel harder than they are. The discomfort of silence is real. Nobody invented it, but a lot of the time it's less about what silence contains and more about how unfamiliar it has become.